And what I want to talk about today is a brand new down payment assistance program that was launched, or isn't even launched yet, will be launched by the state of California. And it is called the California Dream for All program, California Dream for All. And it is a game changer. It is absolutely, in my, gosh, how long have I been doing this? 22 years, started in 2001. So 22 years in mortgage. This is the best program that I have ever heard of, hands down, to help first-time home buyers get into a home. So this one is really a big deal. And hopefully today I can give you an idea of why it's a really big deal and go through just kind of high level of what it is. I'm going to talk on the next 3 Monday nights. I'm going to have a webinar at 7 p.m. each of the next 3 Mondays, diving into the details, Q&A, who qualifies, all of that stuff. That is not my goal today. My goal today is to get you as excited as I am about this program, because this program is for sure a game changer for first-time home buyers, especially with as crazy as interest rates are right now and with as high as the housing expense has become. Housing affordability is a major issue, and this program is taking housing affordability and making it more affordable for first-time home buyers, and that is absolutely huge. So what is the California Dream for All program? It is a down payment assistance program that will provide up to 20% of the purchase price, and the income limits are very, very reasonable. Like San Joaquin County, it's like $168,000. I'm not looking at Sacramento County area, but it's a lot higher. I think it might be around 200,000. So super reasonable income limits. Now I'm going to backtrack a second and tell you about a program last year that I was excited about, except that it didn't help that many people. And that was called the Equity Builder program. And Equity Builder started in around March, I think, and it ran out of money by Thanksgiving. Literally on the Thursday before Thanksgiving, we were told, hey, if you have anybody that wants this program, you have to lock the loan by Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. We had 5 business days of notice before they ran out of money. That program only provided 10% versus this one is 20%. Now that program, the 10% was forgiven after 5 years, but it means you had to keep that loan with the high interest rate for 5 years for it to be forgiven. So there was a big catch there, but that program, you had to meet low income requirements. Low income is like under $75,000 approximately. So there's a small window of people that made under $75,000 as a family that could also afford to buy a home. And so the Equity Builder program helped a very, very small segment. This program, the Dream for All program, helps a huge, huge segment of people. So the Dream for All program allows you to qualify, again, even if you make up to, really it's, again, high hundreds to $200,000. In the San Francisco Bay Area and San Mateo County, you can make $300,000 and qualify for this program. So it is an amazing program. As a matter of fact, I'm going to ask Anna on the fly if she can put a banner that goes across the bottom that gives you the link to the website. So it's CaliforniaDreamForAll.info. So if you have questions, you want to look at it and get an idea of what it looks like, you can use that link to register for the webinar on Monday night. You can also use that link to fill in information or check out our Facebook page that has a lot of information. So Anna will have a banner going across the bottom here in the next 45 seconds that's going to say CaliforniaDreamForAll.info so that you can write that down. And so I want to dive in and really help you understand how much, some of the basic big picture details. So how much money can I get? Well, I already said you can get 20% of the purchase price. Now you don't have to take 20%, but you can. Now, why would I want to take less? Because what you're doing is you're paying it back as shared appreciation. So therefore you are paying back. As a matter of fact, I don't know if Anna was here because Anna just popped back in. Anna, if you could put a scroll across the bottom with the CaliforniaDreamForAll.info, that would be great. Anyway, you pay back what you got plus a share of how much the home value has gone up. And you pay a percentage equal to the percentage of down payment you got assisted with. I'll go over some examples in a couple minutes to help you understand how that works. Trust me, it is really, really worthwhile. Don't check out. I don't want to see my numbers of people watching to disappear because, oh my God, John said I got to pay a share of my appreciation. It's actually a really, really good, fair plan and a fair program. So you can get as much as you want to use for down payment and for closing costs, and you pay it back. So you pay back the money when you sell the home, when you refinance the home for the second time. Yes, I said that, for the second time. They're going to let you refinance once, not to pull cash out, but simply to lower your interest rate without having to pay back the money, without triggering repayment. So when you sell the house, when you refinance for the second time, or in 30 years when you're done paying off the primary mortgage, you now have to pay them back. So it is a really, really good option. Hold on, Anna's asking me something. Okay, her system is crashing, so I might not be able to get that across the bottom for you. But anyway, we're going to keep going, and you'll see in a couple of minutes. Hopefully she can come back up and be able to give me the slides. If she can't, I will share them myself. So bottom line is this program gets paid back. By the way, this is the beauty of doing stuff live, is sometimes you have problems and you got to roll with it. Money's paid back when you sell the home, when you refinance for the second time, or in 30 years when you pay back the entire mortgage. So what is shared appreciation? Well, I'm going to be typing here as I do this to pull up my PowerPoint, because Anna's system's crashing, and so I need to pull up my own version of the PowerPoint. So what is shared? Oh, cool. Her system's up. Love it. Thank you, Anna. What is shared appreciation? So shared appreciation, let's close that for a quick second, Anna, and show me so I can talk just about how it works. Shared appreciation means that from the difference between what you bought the house for and what it's worth when you pay off the second, that's the appreciation. You're going to pay 20% of that. If you borrowed 20%, you're going to pay 20% of that, of the increase. So let me put math behind this. You buy a $500,000 home. They're going to get 20% appreciation. So you're borrowing, and I'll give you a slide here in a second. They're going to give you 20% of that, which means if the price goes from $500,000 to $600,000, you've increased by $100,000. Well, that means that of that $100,000, you keep 80%, the state gets 20%. Now, I want to explain this in a way that really helps you understand, is this a good idea? Because a lot of people are asking me, John, I don't, and I'm going to go through the example in a second, but a lot of people are saying, John, this isn't a good idea. I had another lender say, oh, I'm not offering this to any of my clients because that's a lot of money that they have to give up in order to pay back the state. It is a lot of money, but it's also a lot of money they didn't have to pay. And so I want to give you guys a story. I'm going to give you two stories, and I want you to think about this in context to this money we're getting from the state. And think about if you had the option of buying a home using your uncle's money, and your uncle said, hey, you know what? I got money and I have nothing to do with it, and so I'll buy you a home. And you can do anything you want with it. You can paint it. You got to pay for the maintenance and the upkeep, but you can paint the property. You can make changes. You don't have to ask me, even though, you don't have to pay any rent. You can live there for free, and you just do the upkeep on the property. But the catch is, when the house is sold, well, it's my house. I get the money from it because, well, I let you live there for free and just maintain it. Would you, as the person living there, think you were entitled to any of the increase in value? Of course not, because your uncle paid his cash for the home. You didn't make any monthly payment on the house. All you did was maintain it, and you didn't pay any rent. So why in the world would you have any expectation of getting any of the equity out of the home when it's sold? You wouldn't. So why would you expect to get the equity on the 20% that the state is investing into? Think about that. Now I'm going to give you a second example. What if you and a friend were purchasing a home together, and you guys said, hey, we're going to buy a $500,000 home, and you're both going to live there together, and you're going to get a loan for $250,000, and your friend has cash. So your friend is going to pay cash for their half of the $250,000 home. You both live there for 10 years, and this $500,000 home goes up to $800,000. Well, you sell that house in 10 years. You both have lived there. Your friend paid cash for her half. You have been financing and paying down the balance on your half. What percentage of the equity, what percentage of that $800,000 should you get? Should you get 100% of it? No. Logically, you should get half, because you've been paying the mortgage on half of it, and they should get half. And as a matter of fact, your friend that paid cash should literally get half of the 300,000 that it appreciated, and your half, you're not going to get as much out of it because you still owe money on the mortgage on your half. That's logical. You shouldn't expect to get all of the value of the home when it's sold. When you and your friend were living there together, you and your friend both bought the house, they just happened to pay cash for their half and you financed your half. When you sell it, you would split the profits 50-50. So how is this any different? Kathy says this is really exciting. Kathy, I completely agree with you. This is super, super exciting. So let me go back to my example here. You wouldn't expect that the friend who's living there with you would say, oh, you know what, because you paid on the mortgage, I'll just take my $250,000 back and that's it, because we split the price of the home that was 500 grand. You wouldn't expect that. So why in the world does anybody have an issue with the state saying, hey, I'm going to give you 20% for the purchase price. You do not have to make any monthly payments on that at all. Kind of like the friend saying, hey, I'm putting down half the price of the home. But on top of that, you don't have a friend living with you. It's literally your home. You don't have to share it with the state of California. They aren't sitting there in the next bedroom next to you, ruining the house and leaving their clothes all over the place. So the fact that people are saying, man, that's a lot of money to give up. We need to think about it from the other side. If you can afford to buy a home 100% on your own, do it. If you have your own down payment, or if you're comfortable with the monthly payment that comes along with a small down payment, do it. You get 100% of the appreciation. But I know so many renters that don't think about the appreciation. They only think about the monthly payment. And they're saying, I can't afford to buy a house right now because of the monthly payment. And if I had a friend that would go in to buy the house with me and my payment would be lower, well, clearly I would be happy to give them a portion of the equity. And that's exactly what we're doing here. All right, so Kathleen says it's a no-brainer program. I think so, but I'm trying to simplify it and make it easy for people to understand. This program is amazing, and I think that it can really, really help a lot of people. So let's talk specifically about the shared appreciation. So Anna, can you bring up that slide again, and can you get rid of me and just make it the full screen for me? Make it full screen. Okay, cool, I'm gone. All right, so what this says is if you buy a $500,000 home and you are only borrowing $400,000, the Dream for All program is loaning you 100 grand. Anna, let's go to the next slide. So now what happens is 5 years later, the home value goes up to $640,000. Now guys, appreciation is not guaranteed. This is just an example of that. And so the home is appreciated by $140,000. Of that, we basically split it 80-20 because you got 20% from the state of California. So you get 80% of the increase in value. The Dream for All program gets the other 20%. So you get $92,000 and the state gets $28,000. All right, so the next slide is what happens when you actually sell the home. The Dream for All program gets $128,000. You actually have $142,000 in equity. Why is that? Because you've paid down your balance every single month, and 5 years from now you only owe $370,000. So even though on the second slide you saw there in the bottom left in the middle, it says homeowner's share is $112,000. But the reality is you're actually getting $142,000. Now there's fees for selling the house, but you get $142,000 because you've paid down your balance by $30,000. And so what that looks like is your equity, as I said, is the $112,000 is your 80% of the appreciation and the $30,000 that you have paid down your balance. So this offers you the option to really be able to afford the payment. And I'll show you in a minute what it looks like for monthly payments. So here what we're looking at is the same situation where now when that home is sold, the Dream for All program receives $128,000 and they recycle that down the road to lend to somebody else. So this program is designed to ultimately be self-sustaining. The California Dream for All program is designed that after about 10 years of the state putting money into the program, There's enough money that it will perpetually feed itself based upon people selling their home, refinancing for the second time, paying off that equity, paying off the appreciation loan, and then the state reinvests that money back into the fund to help another first-time home buyer. So this is an absolute game changer to help people qualify. So now let's talk about what are the two ways that we can help buyers. And I want to really help you understand there's two circumstances. There's many types of ways we can use this, but there's two circumstances where I find this to be a game changer in helping people. And that is when people are in one of two situations, either to increase their buying power, which I'll show you the example in a second, or to decrease their monthly payment or lower their debt to income ratio. But I first want to explain something simple. In today's market, it is my experience that there are two reasons why somebody is not purchasing a home that did want to purchase one a year or two ago. And that is because of inflation and the rise in interest rates, the monthly payment has gone up significantly and the prices haven't dropped very much. So people have two reactions to that. Either they can't afford to make the monthly payment, like they don't qualify anymore at that monthly payment because the interest rate's gone up so much, or they're unwilling to make the payment. Meaning, yeah, I qualify, but I want to still save money for my future. I still want to go travel. I still want to have Starbucks. I don't want to be house poor. So three segments of people, those that are buying right now, and then of the people who are not buying right now that want to, it's because either they don't qualify or they're unwilling to make the monthly payment. And this program solves the problem in many situations for both of those scenarios. So the first thing I want to talk about is people who don't qualify. Now, maybe it's they don't qualify because I qualify for 400, but there's no houses out there that I like at $400,000. And so I need a higher qualification amount. I need a higher purchase price, and I can't find something at 400,000. So let's go through that example. Anna, if you could pull that up, and we'll show the example of how it works. Let's get rid of me. Perfect. And let me get rid of this. All right. So this example says, hey, this is the normal circumstance that somebody says, hey, I'm buying a $400,000 home and I'm just doing a 3% down conventional loan. You have a monthly payment of $3,361. And you're saying, okay, John, I can afford it. I can afford that $3,300, but $400,000 isn't high enough. I don't qualify for the $500,000 home that I want. That's too high of a monthly payment. So what do? Well, they say, maybe I'll go with FHA because FHA has a little more flexibility. The rates are a little bit lower on FHA. And so the FHA loan, yeah, you're saving a little bit off of your monthly payment, but not very much. It really doesn't make much of a difference. And you're coming up with a little bit more cash on the FHA. But, by the way, FHA, we bumped the price up to about 410 instead of 400. But what we've got this California Dream for All program, where if I put 20% that is for the down payment, 100% towards the down payment, then the buyer is still paying their closing costs. So they're paying about $23,000 out of pocket for their closing costs, even less than what they were going to pay on the traditional conventional loan. But they're able to get a $500,000 home, a $500,000 home for the same monthly payment. As a matter of fact, a little bit less than what their monthly payment was going to be on a $400,000 home. If that isn't a game changer to get you into the price range that you need to get into, then I don't know what is. Now, just as a side note, we can technically change the math to say, hey, what if you wanted to get in with nothing out of pocket? Well, nothing is about a couple $1,000s. Instead of putting the whole 20% towards down payment, I'm putting a smaller amount towards down payment and using the rest of it to pay your closing costs. So in this case, they qualify for about a $480,000 home, and they have exactly the same monthly payment. So this is a game changer. The California Dream for All program, is going to allow you on average to increase your qualification amount by 25%. So if you are currently qualified at $500,000, then you should be able to qualify at $625,000. If you are currently qualified at $300,000, then you're going to qualify for approximately, what's 25% of 300, 375, $375,000. So you will, on average, increase your qualification amount by 25%. So if you are a home buyer that's frustrated that you cannot get the price you need, in other words, you're not in the price range you need to be in general, this program is going to give you a 25% bump in the amount of money you're able to purchase and keep your monthly payment the same. One of the cool things is this can be combined with your own down payment. I just got off the phone with a client who's, she's a realtor. Her daughter was talking about doing a loan, and her daughter is getting some money from an inheritance of about $80,000. Well, she wants to buy a $400,000 home, so she's got 20% for a down payment. But I can layer that 20% plus the Dream for All 20%, and now she's got 40% for a down payment, and she's only making a monthly payment on 60% of the home value, yet she gets to keep 80% of the appreciation. That's a really, really good option. So you can put as much as 30% of your own money into this program, plus you can pay the closing costs and combine that with the state's 20%. So you could pay on as little as 50% of the value of the home. You can't put more than that down. So 30% from you, 20% from the state, that's the maximum that you can contribute in order to take advantage of this program. But guys, that's an absolute game changer. Now, I want Anna to pull up the second scenario. This scenario is how to make your payment more affordable. So we're gonna, instead of increasing our buying power, let's go to the next slide, Anna. We do have a next slide. There we go. Lower your monthly payment. And so this says, hey, okay, fine, John, I'm at $500,000 and I'm qualified. You have told me that my monthly payment is, $4,200 a month. And yeah, I guess you think I qualify for that, John, but I'm not willing to spend $4,200 a month. I'm just not willing to do it. So I'm out. I'd rather rent than spend $4,200 a month buying a $500,000 home. Okay. So I say, well, hey, what about if we look at FHA? I can save you, $130 a month on an FHA loan because the interest rate and the mortgage insurance is cheaper. And you're like, yeah, John, $130 a month is just not enough. I'm going to stay a renter. It's not worth it. By the way, if you stay a renter, let me close this out for a second. If you stay a renter, your landlord shares 0 of the appreciation with you. If you partner with the state, you get 80% of the appreciation. So in this scenario I'm talking about, you're saying, hey, I'd rather be a renter because I'm not willing to spend $4,200 a month for a $500,000 home. Well, guess what? You're better off getting some money from the state, sharing some appreciation with them. You still get 80% of how much the home value goes up. You stay a renter, you get none of the appreciation. You get none of the equity that gets paid down every month in your payment, and you get none of the tax deduction. So becoming a homeowner through this program is going to help you build wealth for future generations. Homeowners on average are 10 times wealthier than renters. And it's through these things that makes them that way. So let's go back in here and finish talking about how does the Dream for All program make a difference here? Here's how. Because the Dream for All program, on that $500,000 home, you only need to borrow $400,000, which means it's saving you $875 a month. So you're like, hey, John, I qualified for $4,200, but I'm not willing to spend that. But are you willing to do it if I give you $875 less on your monthly payment? And by the way, we can also, I believe we're going to be able to layer this with temporary buy downs. So I'm still waiting for the final rules on that, but that'd be great if we can layer that together. And I'll talk about that in a few weeks when the final rules come out. And just as a final thought, that same person that's buying the $500,000 home that was planning on putting a down payment, we can keep some of their money in a rainy day fund and say, you know what, instead of you spending the $30,000 that you have in the bank and having a $4,200 a month payment, why don't we use this program and have you come up with almost no money out of pocket, maybe a couple $1,000s, and still drop your payment by $700 a month. So it's the best of both worlds. I will tell you, in my 23 years of doing this, I will tell you the number one factor to success versus failure in home ownership is having extra money in the bank for a rainy day, because it rains. And when it rains, it pours. And it's a challenge for a lot of people to say, man, I'm a homeowner and I got to pay to get the roof fixed. Those things happen. So if you can keep your $30,000 in your pocket and be able to still save $700 a month off of your monthly payment, giving the state 20% of the appreciation of your home, No big deal, because they're investing 20% of their money into you buying the home. You're not giving up anything. You just have a partner, and that partner is taking their fair share. To me, this program is a no-brainer, and I'm so excited about it. And so I want to talk to you about what the next steps are and open it up for any questions that anybody has. So Anna, can you pull up my next step slide and kind of share with everybody what's going to happen next? Yes, no, maybe. Oh, maybe we don't have my next step slide. Okay, anyway, oh, here it comes. This is our next steps. Good job, Anna. All right, so you go to californiadreamforall.info or scan the QR code that's on the screen right now. That will take you to californiadreamforall.info. So we are having webinars every Monday night for the next 3 weeks. So the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th at 7 p.m. Pacific time from 7 to 8. I'm going to talk for about a half hour, kind of like I am right now, but I'm going to talk less about the sales side of it. Like, this is me getting you excited. Monday is not about me getting you excited, it's about me educating you about the details of it, and then have time for 20 to 30 minutes of Q&A. So if you want to get details on it, you have two options. You can go to the webinar on a Monday night, or you can, three options, I guess, or you can go and fill out our analysis form. So you can go to analysis.californiadreamforall.net. It is also on the website. If you go to the californiadreamforall.info, you will be able to see a link to our analysis form. And you just answer some basic questions. I'm not pulling your credits yet. I'm just getting a feel and be able to set up a time where you and I can talk for 10 minutes and decide, hey, is this a good idea or not? Am I reasonably able to qualify? And that's what we're looking for, is just giving you a feel and answering your questions. So if you think this is a good idea for you, or if you're somewhat interested in it, you either want to go to the website and sign up for the Zoom webinar, or go to the website and fill out the analysis form. We also have a Facebook page linked to it that will be providing regular updates through Facebook. And we're about to launch a YouTube channel for California Dream for All info as well, so that you can follow along on YouTube, not only on my John Lone King YouTube, but also on the California Dream for All, where all of the videos on that channel are going to be focused on down payment assistance, first-time home buyers, how to help you get the most out of your home buying opportunity. So guys, that's about it for what I have today. If you have questions and you're watching live, please post those questions right now. If you are watching recorded, you can post the questions and I will get back to you. But I am super excited about this program. I think that it is going to be a game changer for a lot of people. And I am excited to present this to you this coming Monday. So join me any of the next 3 Mondays at 7 p.m. from 7 to 8 p.m. for an educational workshop. And please share this with your friends, because this money will run out. And let me be clear, this money is renewed. The state is planning to renew it once a year. And so this money at some point is going to run out, and then we're hopefully going to get it renewed. There's no guarantee it's going to be renewed. So I don't want people to sit back and say, oh, you know what, no big deal. Here's the numbers. If the average sales price in California is $600,000 and everybody took 20% of that sales price, that's $120,000 per person. Currently, the program has $500 million in the program. That's 4,100 people that are going to be able to take advantage of this program. In the entire state of California, 4,000 people. And then the money is gone. So the question is, are you going to be one of those 4,000 that get an opportunity to become a homeowner? Or are you going to sit back and wait and not take that leap? This is a huge opportunity to help you become a homeowner and change the wealth for your family going forward. And I don't want you to miss the opportunity. So everybody, thank you very much. If you have any comments, Rana, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate the props. Anybody else have any questions, or you just want to say nice things about me, feel free, and maybe you'll see your name in lights if you're watching live. Aside from that, gang, register, and we will see you on Monday night at 7 p.m. or fill out the analysis form. And please share this with everybody you know, because I want to get the word out about this amazing program so people can get in line right away. All right. I don't see any other comments. Hope everybody has an absolutely amazing weekend, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.